This is a Wild Games Production podcast.
Welcome to Save or Die. Thank you for joining us for Side Adventure 17. We are going to talk about our new format and some changes to the podcast, and we can't wait to have you guys along with us.
So one of those new changes, I'm sure everybody's picked up on, is Courtney is going to join as a full-time host at Save or Die.
Woo!
Yeah. Carl's very excited. I think he has a crush on her.
Don't tell anybody.
Well, Courtney, since you're joining the show full-time now, do you want to tell everybody a little bit about your gaming history?
Yes, so I started playing D&D whenever, well, not until after we got married. Is that right? Yeah, not until after we got married. So Carl waited till I was legally married before he introduced me to playing Dungeons & Dragons. I don't know if he was afraid I'd run away or what. We started playing with Castles and Crusades.
Yeah.
And we played lots of Dungeons & Dragons since then. I am not a fan of being a DM, which is not all bad since Carl loves to be the Dungeon Master. So I play in a lot of Carl's games. I love the way he DMs and introduces story and adventure and problem solving into games. So that is how I came to playing Dungeons & Dragons and other roleplay games, is through being married to Carl, and his entire family is into it. And so that's how I got introduced to it. But I do not typically DM unless the kids just beg me, and then I kind of begrudgingly think of something for them to go adventure after.
And how long would you say you've been playing?
11 years in March.
Okay. That's nothing to sneeze at.
So I feel like I've been playing for a long time, but then another thing to learn about me is I have a poor memory. Which is not all that bad either, since Carl likes to DM games, because I can play in the same module over and over again and not remember like where things are or which way you should or shouldn't go or any of that kind of. I can literally play in the same like one shot with other people and have a great time. So he doesn't have to like think of new modules. I just go and play with new people, and I don't remember anything about what happened the last time.
Kyle's just been running you through the same like 4 one-page dungeons.
Yeah.
It's like quarterly.
I run the Mincer solo dungeon a lot at pickup games. I just take the Choose Your Own Adventure solo dungeon from the Mincer Red Box, and I run that. And she's played that, I don't know, 5-6 times.
That's pretty handy.
Like, I can't tell you how many times I've played B2, and I know I've played B2 5 or 6.
Yeah, probably.
But I could play. I know there's different caves you can go in, and there's different things in different ones, but I can't tell you much more about it than that.
Well, we don't want to go into too many specifics for fear of spoilers.
I don't know that I ruined it too much.
Well, I think one thing, I'm really excited for Courtney to join as a host for a multitude of reasons. I do think she will bring a perspective to the show that I don't know the show has ever had.
Yeah, just the straight player.
Yeah, we're so deeply invested into the game and its history, and what I think Courtney can bring to this discussion is kind of a foil to bounce that idea off of and explain it better, because it's not necessarily something she's quite as obsessive about as Crispy and I. And the other thing is she's the third host with the same schedule as me, so that's good too.
I'm a balance to you and to Carl and Crispy's knowledge of the rules, whereas I'm more in it for the gameplay and the entertainment. So maybe I can bring that side of it a little more to the show.
Yeah. And that's the kind of thing about like people who do podcasts and kind of listen to podcasts. Like on another show I did, we got an email, and all the emails are from DM so-and-so, and my co-host was like, I don't want to hear from any more DM so-and-sos. I want to hear from player so-and-so.
I joked about introducing myself as player Courtney, but no, nothing.
I'm sorry, I was in the middle of a drink. I didn't mean to snub you.
It's all right.
So we're adding Courtney as a host, and we are going back to just being Save or Die. We're not going to have a subtitle.
The reason for that is, I don't know, I kind of feel like we're, like, the joke of the Immortal Edition of, like, oh, it's a show that won't die. It's kind of run its course. It's been over a year since we've been doing the show now. And, you know, it kind of feels like it's tacked on like we're, like, an add-on show, or we're not the real show to a certain extent. And I kind of want to get back to just being Save or Die, you know?
It's also just not how anybody refers to it. We all just call it Save or Die.
Yeah, no one says Save or Die Immortal Edition. It's still just referred to as SOD.
All right, and the other thing we are going to add is a show structure. We're going to have 3 segments. The first one's going to be called Basic Impressions. And in Basic Impressions, it's just a general overview of the topic we'll be discussing. So if, for example, we were discussing a D4, we would talk about how it's one of the original D&D dice, and it has 4 sides and looks like a pyramid. That's our basic impression. And then we'd move into expert observations. And then we would be more of a deep dive, and we'd go into the history, that it's a tetrahedron, and Plato associated with fire, because it's pokey, and I mean, it's really, that's literally why.
You only ever use it for call drops. I mean, like, physically, you only ever use it for call drops.
Yes. It is the easiest die to weaponize. Which would be something we might talk about in original applications, which will be the way that we, as players and dungeon masters, would use these ideas in our games.
So the structure hasn't changed too much from what we've been trying to do with the show since we took over. One thing that has been a goal of mine since we took over is to be super informative with the experts on our observations, and also give our takes on it. So that's sort of staying the same. It's just we're adding in like an actual structure. Are we gonna put? Are we doing bumpers?
Yes, I'm gonna make bumpers. I'm excited about bumpers, and hopefully I make bumpers that our audience likes.
I think as long as you keep it tight,
brief bumpers,
short.
Yeah, short. That seems to be the complaint, is when they go too long. And I can see that complaint. It gets a little self-indulgent. What's next, Carl?
And then after that, we're just going to close it out with emails and saying goodbye and all that. And that would be the end of the show.
So that being said, we love all your love on Facebook and other social media sites. But if you want your chance to be on the Save or Die, you have to shoot us an email so that we can read it on the podcast and answer your questions you may have. And our email is
questions@saveordie.info. Another thing that we're going to be doing with the show going forward is we are going to start releasing episodes more frequently. We're going to try to go back to the old bi-weekly schedule.
So every 2 weeks, you'll get a new Save or Die.
Every 2 weeks on do we have a day?
No.
Too much commitment. Every 2 weeks?
Every 2 weeks on a day.
It's always announced on our Facebook page.
Yeah.
So we'll definitely let you know when it's up and ready to go, but look forward to hearing those every 2 weeks.
Also, if you subscribe to the Patreon, you do get that episode a day early.
What?
So if you're really hankering, if you're hangry for new Save or Dies, and you just can't wait, $1 or more per month helps the show.
And the final thing is, after the end theme song plays its chorus and the show is over, we're going to start an actual play podcast that's tacked on to the end of Save or Die. This is something that people have kind of been asking for from Save or Die for a long time. It's been a suggestion way back in the day to do some actual play segments. We did one for the Black Box episode that was really well received. People seem to really like it. It's going to be a little bit in that vein. It's going to be kind of not it's not going to be structured game theory. It's going to be kind of a lighthearted kind of somewhat in reference to whatever we ended up discussing in that show, or possibly just some sort of classic D&D reference. But I will be running the game, and Crispy and Courtney will be playing.
PC Courtney.
Oh, I got demoted to PC Crispy.
No, you're still.
Is it really a demotion?
I guess not. It's like a lateral move.
It all depends on your perspective.
I've just scaled back my working hours, but still my salary remains the same.
Win-win.
So all of this is going to take place in episode 150. So that's where the big changes will take place.
We're gonna turn and face the strange.
I got nothing.
I don't want to be a richer man.
You know more about that song than I do.
No, it's weird. I'm the youngest one here.
Here's what I got. Changes. That's what I know.
150 is a good round number to make some changes.
Yeah, I think so.
Yeah. Also, congratulations to us. 150 episodes.
Yeah, or 10.
Well, yeah. I meant like the podcast as an institution.
That congratulations goes to all the hosts of Save or Die, as well as the listeners, because without our listeners, no show. Well, or a very lonely show.
Is it really a show at that point? I think it's more like an exercise in like vanity.
It still is. It's an exercise in vanity, regardless.
I was just going to say, which I guess is kind of what you could say about all podcasts.
Yeah. But thank you so much for sticking with the show for this long. I was a huge fan of the show before I became a host, and I'm just thrilled to be here, and I'm really looking forward to what we can do in the future, and we just want to make this show the best it can be, and thank you so much for sticking with us and listening. Okay, before we go, I do want to say that I'm very excited to say this for some reason. I guess I'm more excited about this than I thought I was. Courtney and I are going to go to GaryCon. So if you want to meet Courtney and I and play games with us, we will be at GaryCon and playing games. So hopefully we will see some of you guys there.
I'm not going to GaryCon.
It's really far away for you.
You know what I am going to this year, though?
What's that?
Arkansas RPG Con.
Me too.
Me too.
What?
So if you want to meet all current Save or Die hosts,
You can also check out arpgcon.com for updates for when badges will go on sale there, as well as Facebook page.
yeah, Arkansas RPG Con is a convention that Courtney and I run. It is in November 9th and 10th this year, and Crispy will be there, I will be there, Courtney will be there, and you should be there too if you want to come and play lots of games in the Central Arkansas area.
I'm looking forward to that. I'm like super stoked. It's on my calendar, which is just a constant reminder in the back of my head. Like literally just today at work, I was like, I don't have anything going on till November. I'm going to Arkansas.
Awesome. I can't wait.
Yeah, that's very exciting. I'm very excited that you will be at Arkansas RPG Con. I'm excited that we'll be at GaryCon. I'm excited to see everybody at both these conventions. We'll also be at North Texas this year as well. So Courtney and I are just going to convention it up like crazy. So hopefully we'll see everybody at those conventions.
Bye.
Thank you so much. Bye.
Good night, everybody.
Well, let me tell you something, brother. The Save or Die Podcast Immortal Edition is a production of Wild Games Productions, brother. It is produced for entertainment purposes only, Jack. All other uses are prohibited, dude. So be sure to visit them at saveordie.info for more information, brother. What you gonna do when the Save or Die Podcast runs wild on you? Ooh.